Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at yet another wonderful mod, this time in the form of Spartan Battle Suit, which is being made by user Tumba Jamba. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is a pretty cool new suit of power armor, which looks like this. And oh god guys, I am really falling in love with this thing, as well, there's a lot of different power armor mods on the Nexus, and I haven't really looked at any up until now because, frankly, none of them really felt too interesting to me. A lot of them were just retextures, and they seemed kind of boring. This one, on the other hand, really grabbed my attention, mainly because of its aesthetic look. It really has a very sort of industrial sci-fi nature to it that I quite enjoy. To me, it looks like it would feel right at home in the middle of an asteroid field floating around in a sci-fi movie, and that's just cool. And what really made it even more interesting to me when I had a look at it is its unique nature of how the power armor suit works. Now, normally, you would have 6 different pieces of power armor to throw onto a power armor frame, but as you can see here, we only have 5. We have the torso, the left leg, left arm, and right arm, but no headpiece, no helmet. That's because this visor here that you see, that you can of course see through, is a part of the torso itself, which has a very interesting and cool look to it. I quite enjoy that for some reason. But, of course, because of how the game works, that means your head isn't really well protected, so to make up for that fact, and so that you still have power armor protection on your noggin, it is added into the game an additional armor part that you can wear outside of the power armor suit, and that is this visor right here. I should probably be looking into the light so you can see it better. There we go. We have this very, very sci-fi looking visor, which counts as a pair of sunglasses, so we can still go into our inventory and in apparel and still wear our fancy hat, but not our sunglasses. So that is the slot that it takes up in the armor, and it has all the delicious stats of a piece of power armor, as you can see here, 100 energy and 100 physical resistance, as well as a very heavy weight of 10. So it's not some light pair of patrolman sunglasses. No, this thing is pretty substantial, but will give you a good amount of protection. If we take a look there, you can see just this, the very high quality of the model on this thing, which is another reason I really like this mod. All the models and textures on it are pretty darn impressive. I really do enjoy them. But yes, so that is the visor to make up for the fact that we do not have a headpiece on here, but now you may be wondering, how do you get the power armor pieces? Well, this is another unique part about this mod, as it adds into the game this advanced engineering workbench, which you can build, of course, by going into the workshop mode and going over to crafting. There we go, and it'll be the first entry there, requiring rank 1 in armor, as well as some aluminum gear, oil, springs, steel, wood, and screws, and you can plop this down anywhere and be good to go. Now, the mod is also compatible with the, oh boy, what's the name of it? Let me look at my other screen here. The Armor and Weapon Keywords Community Resource mod. So if you do have that installed for any number of other mods, you can actually use this thing with the Armor Smith Workbench that comes with that. But if you don't have that installed, like me, you can just use this advanced engineering workbench and be good to go. And once we do have it, we can craft all the pieces of the power armor here, which as you can see are apparently made by Robco, and you can build the power armor chest piece, which requires a substantial amount of aluminum, circuitry, cloth, fiber optics, fiberglass, leather, and steel. We then have the left arm requiring all the same materials but in different numbers. The left leg, similar deal here, same materials just in different quantities. And then the right and left leg, or, well, wait, actually we did the left arm, left leg, then right arm, right leg, there we go. And then, of course, the prototype Spartan Power Armor Visor, which again requires the similar materials just in different quantities. And once you have these built, you're just good to go to throw all of these power armor pieces onto any power armor frame you have handy, and then you can go and edit it just like any other piece of power armor you have available to you. Now, we have the Spartan Model A here, which, you see its individual stats on just this arm is a nice amount of physical damage, radiation protection, and electrical damage, or energy weapon damage rather, and we can build anything from a Model A down to a Model F to improve it to varying degrees of adding more protection and requiring more skills and of course materials. And then, of course, we have material mods here where we can throw on, say, for instance, our hot rod flame paint, or do things like lead plating, prism shielding, explosive shielding, or titanium shielding, just different things to add in different effects, which is always quite useful. We then have our miscellaneous mods for the arms, which for them are the optimized bracer, rusty knuckles, hydraulic bracers, and Tesla bracers. And then, of course, a different paint job, so we can do military paint scheme, a Vault-Tec paint scheme, or winterized coating. And those are our different effects for the arms. Now, if we go down to the legs, we, of course, have the similar A to F model here for differing amounts of damage resistances. The material mods, we have the same exact thing here, from our hot rod flame paint down to titanium plating. The miscellaneous mods, the calibrated shocks, optimized servos, overdrive servos, kinetic servos, and explosive vent, which I think is my favorite, and, just all very, very good, useful things for your leg modifications requiring different materials and skills, and then finally the same paint schemes. The military one is pretty impressive. I like it, almost adds like a carbon fiber feel to the paint. It's quite good. I do enjoy it. And then, of course, we have the torso piece, which, again, the Model A through F are different same material mods that we can add in. Our miscellaneous mods for this one, though, are Emergency Protocol, a Motion Assist Servo, Kinetic Dynamo, Tesla Coil, Blood Cleanser, Core Assembly, Medic Pump, Reactive Plates, and Stealth Boy, so no jetpack for this particular power armor, but you do have quite a few other modifications here which could be quite useful. We then have the Searchlight, where you just have the two options, the standard one or an ultra bright version. And right here, I should actually probably point out one of the few known issues. This thing doesn't have a whole lot of bugs at the moment, which is always good, but the Searchlight is one of the big ones. So for some reason, sometimes the mod maker has no clue why, but the light, rather than coming out of the spotlight up here, may come out of your bottom right foot. It's a strange issue, but it is fixable. All you need to do is reload your game and you should be good to go. And it doesn't happen always, just sometimes, but that is potentially something that could happen. It's a little strange. Hopefully they can fix that in the future, but certainly nothing game-breaking. And then, of course, lastly in the paint, we have the different schemes here. All very cool indeed. Now, if we exit out of here and go to the armor workbench for our lovely visor, we can take a look at its modifications, and we just go in there, and just like any other piece of armor, we can go and edit it, and we have two categories here. The first is armor, and I have to admit, I'm not sure why these are in here. The armor one is for the general armor that you have on right now, and the power armor is what it's supposed to do when you're in the power armor. So I don't know why it has the option of switching between them, and frankly it does nothing. So I personally just leave it as the default armor, because what I think happens, I'm not entirely sure on this, but what I think happens is when you enter the power armor, it switches to this one by default, but I don't know that for sure. But either way, this has no effect whatsoever if you do try to change this. As you can see, no materials, no change in resistances over here. So just maybe leave that alone if you download this mod. But over here, we have the far more useful Visor mods, where we can add into this targeting HUD, internal database, a VATS matrix overlay, rad scrubbers, recon sensors, and of course a sensor array. All very cool and useful things to have, which will just, help you in your overall fight against the things trying to kill you in the wasteland. Now, if we exit out of this and just jump into it real quick to show it off, again, actually, I didn't really show off the backside, but I just love the modeling and texturing work on this thing, especially that back grating right there. I don't know why, but it makes me smile. So let's pop in a fusion core real quick, and just like in any piece of power armor, goes right back in there, and we can just jump right on in, and we'll have our lovely suit of power armor. There we are in, and we can, of course, look around. Now, remember that we don't have the headpiece, and we have that lovely see-through visor there, which, as you can see with my character and our fancy hat that we're wearing, it's actually popping out of the top. That's one of the downsides to not having an actual headpiece, because it doesn't hide our hat, which is also kind of a thing because we are wanting to see our face in here through the visor, so perhaps don't wear a big fancy hat like me if you're wanting to use this extensively in third person. But other than that, it's quite a lovely... Let's actually take off the hat, it's a little bit distracting. Let's see, Lieutenant's hat there. Oh, no, I cannot take it off right now, can I? It's because we're in the... Oh, there we go. We're good. See, we can see the visor through there and just all nice and good to go. But yes, it's a very fun little suit of power armor. Very cool looking. I, again, do love the sort of industrial sci-fi nature to it. And I love the fact that we do have this big see-through visor so you can see yourself while you're fighting the enemy. And just overall, it's a really fun piece of kit and a very intriguing, interesting piece of power armor. So if you would like to take a look at this for yourself, you can take a look at the link in the description. And for you console players, unfortunately, I don't see it on Bethesda.net for the time being. And actually, even if you're a PC player, I haven't seen this thing. As of the time of recording, this is not on Bethesda.net. You have to get this on the Nexus. So for any of you console players out there, you may be out of luck for this one. Who knows, though, it may come in the future. But if you are on PC, just head on over to the Nexus, and you'll find this lovely behemoth of a suit of power armor. And I hope you do download it, have some fun with it, and of course, I do hope that you have enjoyed this episode today, and that you do come back for the next. But until that time, thank you for watching, my friends, and as always, have a good one!